Apologies for cutting off short there. My laptop warned me that my battery was low, so I had to recharge it, and the recording stopped there just because of the way the screen recorder works. Anyway...
Oh, please. It's not that interesting. The color of your face does suit you, though. Matches the hair.
Sorry, I'm also eating my lunch. I'm gonna binge play this game.
Well, come on now, Munchkin. I'll just buy you an extra glass of that parfait.
With extra strawberries?
I'll get you a basket full if you want. As long as you behave. And no complaints if they don't have enough syrup again.
It's gonna eventually lead to the housewarming party eventually. Friends come first, though.
Deal?
Deal.
Deal!
Yay!
Have fun with your date, Miss Pink!
Hey! Look's already leading the child away before I can correct her. You know what? This gives the godfather and goddaughter time to bond with each other as they walk past all the mannequins. Eating a pork butt. Upon reaching the end of the hall, however, does Mr. Chance to shoot me, and I don't want to go infuriating winks. Right. Must admit, the two of them walking together hand in hand is an endearing sight in itself. Alright, so making that choice was worth it for that. Alright. There we go. We're getting along with the jerk. See how this is the way you want to be treated, eh? We're shopping them. I need to mull over. This isn't survival of the fittest, this is looking out for each other. Relaxing, creepy music in the background. Oh boy. Alright, where are my friends? This is good food.
How dense can he get?
I can't very well wait for another 2 decades just for something as measly as an invitation, can I? It's not like it's going on to be a date. Frankly, I wouldn't mind if it is. However, there's a wish best reserved for some other time. I won't get anywhere if I just think keeping this up will... But the what ifs. There he is! It's Ashton! Hooray! Everyone's favorite Asian Christian cross-wearing, furry, hood-wearing, red-collared, emo-haired detective. Each one of them appears more important than the other, despite me having never read a letter of it. Let me head back to the precinct after this, if you're not going to drop by Zachary's for a bit of a shut-eye. No rest for the wicked. No rest for the wicked! No shut-eye for the terrible! They will watch and have slumber parties! But no matter how occupied he seems, he pauses anyway, and looks up from his work the moment he hears my treads. He raises a hand in greeting. A small smile spreads across his lips. I'm looking forward to playing as him. Exhausted as I am, I can't help but return to him.
What brought you here?
He hums something inaudible, neither an answer nor vacant, before he turns his attention back to the papers. For a passing second, I thought he'd ignore or evade questions, like every single time I've asked. He shuffled the documents back to a binder and set it all aside with a huff. I'm fatigued that I've never heard him recently. Either there's simply too many things keeping him busy at once, or his investigations isn't going too well. Maybe even both.
Just work.
Just work, Ashton?
Just work? Do you expect me to believe that?
In a way, I didn't think an important contact ditched me and now I'm stuck would make for a cool alibi. Did it work?
As if there's going to be any difference. You're still a dafty. Anyway, do you want to come in? But if you're going to hang around for a bit, you better turn those headlights off. My landlady's one hairline away from banning you off this place, you know? Stop taking the piss out of her. She's a nice woman.
When she stops taking the piss out of Shirley, maybe I will.
You and your bloody car.
Oh, you ain't seen bloody yet, woman. You ain't seen bloody yet. Assuming that the car's gonna be bloody, you know? The way he put it, it was as if he was talking to some woman he met somewhere else. Pardon me. Oh, good lunch. I'm having some fruit and nuts and a few whole grainy biscuits and a porridge biscuit bar. Currently, I'm eating a tangerine. I love fruit.
Hey, it's a nice name. Don't laugh at it. You'll hurt her feelings.
Oh, she has feelings now. Is she gonna make out with Lightning McQueen?
I'm gonna have to give that offer a pass, though.
Nothing expected. The car's a soul. Oh my. Suddenly asking him to accompany me to some housewarming party is starting to turn into a bad idea.
I need to get going. I just dropped in to check on something and...
His words trail off mid-sentence on purpose, leaving it for me to comprehend the rest of it. At the same time, his eyes shift momentarily towards the door closest to us. Isabella's unit. Really quiet now in her absence. Instantly his lips curve into a small frown, and his shoulders tense. I know work is far from his reasons for being here. Being all too aware of that idea alone summons another dull ache straight into my chest. Like every single moment, he affords her the attention he can never seem to spare others. Well, it is a worry better left in this different situation. It twinges the heart nevertheless.
Is there a problem?
I have a big banana here. I'm just about to eat, if that's a problem.
Nothing of note. Abigail just wanted to ask her a few things.
Just gonna check on the story. Okay, right. Right.
It's related to that incident with Cooper. You heard the one.
Hold on. She isn't in trouble, is she?
No, I don't think so. Not as far as I know. And do you really think Scaredy Cat can do anything like that? It's just an off-the-record thing, okay? Abigail wanted to confirm something. She knows I'm friends with someone working at BRC, so she asked me. Apparently she isn't getting anything from that company, as long as the red tape's in the way. It's nothing urgent, though. She isn't answering her phone again, so I thought I'd check myself. I can wait until she gets home.
If she comes home soon. The last time I saw her was 2 nights ago.
His demeanor immediately changes. Despite his careful attempt to appear nonchalant, his eyes scream of an unspoken worry. It's almost painful to see how much he tries to hide it, especially in front of someone he has known for years.
What? Did she take a vacation or something?
No word from her, unfortunately. And I don't think she'll go on a trip without telling us. It's been 2 days. 3 if she's not going to show up tomorrow either. Do you think we might have to file a missing person report?
I hope not. But let me know if anything happens. You know how to contact me. I'll see you later, Becca.
Bye. Good to know. See, it's important to keep up with friends, even with those little disagreements. Any voice at the back of mine nudges at a memory. Something I've forgotten. The very reason why I've chosen to return home late early. I mean, I'm 4 steps down when realization kicks in and awareness of the envelope I've been holding returns to me. Panic rears before proper words can form, or I can think about the situation. No second sooner, I'm calling after him.
Ashton, wait!
He halts, 1 foot already down another step, when he turns to me, raising an eyebrow in question.
Yeah?
Now, at all times it is this moment when I falter. The adrenaline from earlier's panic suddenly recedes. All of a sudden, none of the things I've prepared to say will take form, and I'm caught between simply forgetting about this, or just blurting it out to him while hoping for the best. Pardon me. Tomorrow afternoon, do you have time? There's nothing wrong with trying, I suppose. I'm not going to lose anything if he says no. Which, frankly, has a very high chance of happening other than the opposite. Though the thought still doesn't prevent heat from crawling up my face and send my heart racing. It's better to get this over with before my throat closes up and I lose my nerve. Alright, just checking. Right. Something just occurred to me. I probably should have saved back when I was making the choice. But no turning back now.
Tomorrow afternoon. Do you have time?
One step closer to heaven, baby, means one step closer to you. There'll be no more living without you, baby. I'm counting these minutes till I'm back to you. Anyone remember that song from S Club Jr.? Or is it just me? Wolfram is already on his face. I'm eating an apple, by the way. God. If I'm going to do this game all day, I can't do
That
it without
depends.
nutrition.
Why?
Well, you see, someone sent an invite for a housewarming party, and I thought you might want to...
Rebecca, I'd rather stand on the messy end of a gunshot. You know that.
That's more of a party for him. He's tough.
I know, it's just... You're one of the few people I can count on with things like this.
That's cool. I appreciate the thought. But really, Zach's a better companion. Gatherings like that just aren't my cup of tea.
It did cross my mind, you know. If he isn't busy with his freelance work, I'd probably ask him too. Actually, you two would have been spared if Isabella was here, but...
Why not just skip out on it? The world's not going to end if one guest doesn't show up.
Trust me, I'd love to. But I promised Mom I'll be there.
Still can't say no, huh?
Like you're any better. Besides, the person who sent this is an old friend of Mom and Dad. If it's important to them, why not? Though, who would have thought, huh? The famous Evans heir used to be tutored by my parents. Apparently, we also met before.
Wait, who?
Evans. Hannah Evans. Well, she's already married. She goes by Hannah Wright now. Remember the couple who bought the mansion Isabella's selling?
The same people?
The same!
As far as I know. Unless I misread their address, or there's another Hannah Wright in this city that we don't know about.
Let me see that.
Feast your eyes on the proof, boy. The truth will set you free. Wouldn't want to be living our lives in denial now, would we?
You never mentioned this.
We met just once. Or at least, that's what Mum told me. Honestly, I can't recall anything from it. Otherwise, I would have told you about it.
He hummed something inaudible under his breath, all while thumbing the paper, staring at it as if so proffer him answers of every unspoken question in his head. When he gleans nothing from it, he merely folds the envelope back to its form.
Alright, I'll go with you.
What?
I'll go with you. That shouldn't be a problem, right? Unless you've already made up your mind about asking Z-Man.
No, I told you already the guy's busy. Why would I bother him for this when I can go alone? But what about your own work and...
I can make time for this. 3 o'clock, yeah? I'll pick you up an hour or so before.
Alright, sweet. October 28th, Friday. Night wears on without further incident. Right. Got a choice ahead of us here. That's going to lead to... Oops. Massive shortcut to another choice. And then third choice, fourth, and fifth choice, and maybe a sixth choice. Alright. Let's see where this goes. Come morning, there's only a hush, a strange sort of stillness, unlike the ones greeting me every morn. Morn? Anyway. Just gonna continue eating and just annoy my audience. Unsubscribe from this channel. I don't want to hear someone eating. Ugh.
What the hell were you thinking?
Ashton?
I wasn't. Ow! Could you let go?
The couple bickering. He struggles as she could, but his hold on her remains firm. Freeing herself means having to draw blood, as she attempts to pry his hands off with her other one, or using unnecessary force to push herself away. Neither of which is better than the other. One could potentially end in an accident, while the other means having to hurt him physically. She has the good sense to realize that, at least. However, it doesn't take the desperate edge in her voice when she answers Ashton's temper with her own. And so they go, none the wiser of my presence.
Do you have any idea how much trouble you could get in?
That's why I'm asking you for help.
Is this what you've been doing these past 3 days? Because this doesn't make your case convincing, Isabella.
Rose died, Ash.
I know. Every single person in Luxburg knows. It's on the damn news. But that doesn't mean...
People are missing. Some of those are my friends. And BRC's just covering it all up.
As all corrupt journalists do.
You can't just barge into my office and expect me to do anything about it, right off the bat. This isn't a children's game, Isabella. We have procedures. We have to follow protocol. There's red tape all over this case for a reason. We sure as hell don't investigate things just because some stupid letter spooked us.
Ash, you have to believe me this time. If we don't do anything right now, more people will...
It's been a whole week. This stupid letter prank is getting old real fast. I'm sick of it.
He's serious, though.
It was funny the first time, not so much now.
You're the only one that can help me with this, Ash. Even Rebecca won't.
Even I won't what?
All right, you two are awfully loud. What's going on here?
Both their heads snap up, almost in unison. A displeased frown is on each of their faces, but this is a necessary interruption. What can I do? You'll steal them their units. I've already taken an interest in their commotion. I've almost finished my lunch, I promise.
Well, if you want to continue this, you two better do it elsewhere. You're disturbing other people.
That's right. Follow the landlady's example.
Don't worry, we're done here.
No, we aren't. Becca, I looked it up. I called them. I visited some of them and...
Sorry, got a drink to get through.
Which you shouldn't have done in the first place. Isabella, you're going to create more problems for us with what you're doing. A team has already been assigned to it. Leave it to us.
Bam, bam, bam. Leave it to the A-Team. And by the A-Team, I mean the initial for Ash.
Your precious team is looking at it the wrong way. Becca, it's not just Rose. There are others.
The last bit strikes a chord, prods strongly at a memory. At last a vicious smile already etched deep inside my mind. That image appears clear enough that at the mere mention of it, I stumble on my own question.
What do you mean? The letter, Rebecca! It's not...
It's nothing.
It's clearly something. If it was nothing, we wouldn't be talking about it.
If there's really something going on because of that dumb letter, none of us would be standing here. We've all read it, haven't we?
That's exactly what I just said. You're twisting my words, Ash!
But Rebecca's alive, Zach's alive, I'm alive. So for the last time, this isn't a curse.
Yet.
There's a murderer on the loose, and your co-workers happen to be the victims. Give it a rest, Isabella. It's too early for this shit.
I mean... Did the green-haired lass Rose read the letter at all? Did she?
Don't you think that's too much for a coincidence?
Not so much. Most serial killers follow a pattern. I'll tell you about it some other time.
Detective stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sure J. Warner Wallace would tell you more about that. A shout out to J. Warner Wallace. He's a real cold case detective if you want to get some insights into what he does.
And anyway, coincidence or not, the point is, civilians like you aren't supposed to get involved. You're putting yourself in danger.
I wasn't chasing after...
Will the both of you slow down and stop arguing for a minute? What's this about your coworkers, Val?
Becca, please don't tell me now you believe this shit.
She's experienced it, therefore she hath the right to believe it. Sure, in a heartbeat I'll agree with Ashton. Or, rather, she wishes she agrees with Ashton. She wishes. That's how it's always been, besides having a very good point. Really, they're the very same ones who will be making every time I ask too many questions. Fact of the matter is, what he wants to hear from me right now is far from what I've been seeing, sensing these past few days. It doesn't matter what Isabella or I believe in on our own. Something odd's been happening around me. And that letter she picked up is at the heart of this. Alright. Another choice. Okay. Well, you shouldn't be doing these things. I might have seen it. Oh, here we go. He's gonna tell the truth. In 3, 2, 1. Boop! Ashton in particular won't be happy to hear it. But here we go. I'm in it for truth, not for lies, everybody. Here we go. Here we go. No holding back. Here we go. We gotta make our case more convincing. Here we go. Here we go. This will help him with his case. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. All right, spill it out.
I might have seen her.
Boom, boom.
The woman Belle's been telling us about. The one she said she saw in the attic.
There you go. More than one witness. Now do you have your case, sir? Both of them stare at me, like I've grown an extra head. From a few moments, Ashton looks like he's about to have a fit. A pause treads at its heels after a silence thick enough one can almost hear a pin drop. Or a mic drop, that would be epic. Do I have pin drop? Do I have a pin? Alright. Right. Pin drop. Don't know if you heard that, but that was a pin drop. Right.
You're kidding, right?
Nope.
Do I look like I'm joking?
Does Isabella look like she's joking?
Really, Becca? Not funny.
Ash, I'm not lying. Why would I lie about this? It's been this way since the film fest. The past few days have been really odd since we read that letter. Last night, you mentioned Zach hasn't been acting like himself. Maybe you should ask him, too.
Coming here was worth it after all.
Or maybe you're all just feeling under the weather.
I mean, it's good to come up with the options, but at some point, you're gonna run out of options. You need to go where the evidence leads. Think about it. It's possible that Isabella and Rebecca could be pulling off a prank. That's possible. But in this instance, with both of them telling with genuine fear, is that probable? No. You see, when you're solving cases, as J. Warner Wallace asks, you need to know the difference between what's possible and what's probable. A lot of people are going with possibilities, which is understandable. But very few ever go with the probabilities. They don't always follow the evidence where it leads. They're scared.
I'm not sick. Don't you think I'd know that by now?
Becca, you're starting to sound like Scaredy Cat.
Doesn't that make this case more genuine?
Give me a break.
Why don't you?
I'm sorry. so sorry, you two.
Isabella's voice cut sharply through the conversation, abruptly putting an end to the brewing argument.
It's all my fault. This is all my fault.
There, Isabella. There. You can't see it right now, but I'm giving her an imaginary hug.
I was only hoping I could fix this before any of you. I'm sorry for dragging you all into this.
She breathes in, deep, steady, and in that moment, something falls behind her eyes as she looks away.
I'll fix this. I promise.
A quiet resolve. Same one I saw in her that night about from 3 days ago. But this time it burns brighter. The light will always shine through the darkness. Deal with it.
Belle, there's nothing to fix. The problem is...
Just this once, Ash.
The problem is just this once.
You don't have to come with me. But if I don't do anything, I am going to regret it.
Nothing hurts deeper than regret. Believe me. I know this, because I lied during a D&D game on this channel, and I still regret that. But at least I'm being honest about it. She lays a hand atop of his. Gentle, pleading, almost intimate, if one does not consider the circumstances we found ourselves in.
Please.
Ashton will never tell a soul, will never admit it even to himself, but it is in that short second that his own resolve breaks. The moment the hard edge in his eyes softens, and he relinquishes his hold on her, letting his hand fall limply to his side. Wordlessly, Isabella steps back and runs off, leaving only a muttered thanks and a small lackluster smile. Only after the last of her footsteps fade away does Ashton move, breaking the silence with one of his sharp exhales, before reaching up to pinch the bridge of his nose, in a gesture of frustration and surrender.
Did you really have to tell her that?
Uh-huh.
What do you want to hear from me then? That everything's fine?
No, I want all of you to stop putting these ideas in her head. None of it is helping. Never mind. Don't worry about her. I'll bring her back here.
He's already poised to leave when my instinct takes over. I reach for him, gripping his elbow, the same unyielding grip. The action, prompted by a voice, whispering at the back of my mind. He's already made it clear. He's not going to believe me, but he deserves a word of caution. Who knows where all this will take us? How all this will end? He shouldn't be caught off guard, beliefs notwithstanding.
Ash, I know you don't believe in those things she's saying. And you know me. I'm as less inclined to believe in those things as you do. But I've seen something.
Something that's profoundly changed her, and her aspect of life forever.
There's something strange going on here. You don't have to buy it. If you don't want to listen to me, fine. But please, try to hear her out.
Speaking unbiasedly, I like it.
It's bad enough that Isabella goes off like this without telling anyone. I'm just worried something might happen to her if she keeps at it. Talk to her, okay?
As if she trusts me enough for that.
Doesn't the fact that she approached you first about this, instead of me, already say a lot?
A different kind of trust, granted implicitly and never spoken, sometimes too big or too fragile to last. He falls silent for a long moment as he turns it over in his mind. In the end, all he manages to offer is a small nod before he departs, and a promise, too, at least. Listen to her, without the teasing of the vibes. A favor for me and the least he could do for her, thank God. This is as much as I can do for him, as well until I've understood what's happening myself. Alright, tonight, hopefully, where this all started, will provide the answers I'm looking for. Alright, here we go. If the whole thing's off at a bad start, all of a sudden, whatever Isabella claims dwelling in the mansion becomes the least of my concerns. It's really underdressed. It's a total understatement to describe how I look. Car's worth more than my own apartment and childhood home combined. Lines the mansion's front yard. Men and women decked out of their best also flock near the entrance. Most are eager for the festivities to start, while some are simply idling about, enjoying the warm afternoon sun before it sets. Once the woman standing at the front porch speaks, their undivided attention immediately shifts to her. It's Hannah! Look at that light on her. Shine a light on her! Anyway.
Welcome everyone.
And Mum said we would have been good friends? Can't even picture myself mingling with the kind of guest she has. Though I admit she does seem familiar now that I've seen her this close. Memories of sitting in a vanity, not mine, but being dressed in clothes too fancy for my tastes. They flit briefly in my mind until her cheerful tones rise above the buzz of her enraptured audience again.
Please, make yourselves at home.
And maybe a ghost will haunt you. I wish I can share her enthusiasm, really. Being surrounded by all this extravagance, for the lack of a better term, merely makes me dread how the rest of the night might go. Also, knowing there might be some truth to what lies inside the place helps drive the unease further by a notch. Ashton, on the other hand...
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
I am careful, and don't call me Shirley. For someone who abhors gatherings like this, he already seems right at home, standing with an air to lackadaisical, never heard that word before, as he watches the valet drive off with his display car. That awkward moment when you're reading a book or reading something and you come across a word you've never seen or heard of before, or at the very least you don't know how to pronounce.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
Don't mess with Shirley. Don't mess with Shirley. She's his ride.
Those guys know what they're doing. They're handling cars worth more than your precious Shirley.
My disdain was likely shown beyond the tone of my voice, quite possibly in the form of a grimace. As I might be up at the stern square, can't help but join him instead. There's something in the lightness of it, how easy this kind of interaction falls into place when we don't let feelings get too involved, in spite of being stuck in a situation we're not fond of. It brings back memories. However, the moment doesn't hold. All of a sudden, Ashton grows quiet.
Chief?
An odd expression flashes momentarily in his face, though he blinks it away before I can figure out what it is exactly.
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
It doesn't help that he isn't even making an effort to spare a glance my way when he answers. Instead, they're focused on some point in the crowd. His gaze darting between people walking past us, until a small frown forms on his face. The detective look.
Oh wait, Ash! Oh, what about...
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
God be with you, Ash. I meet the smile. He hastily stows my way with a frown of my own. What does he mean by that? What do you mean? But before I can ask, already he has turned his back from me and is walking away without a single explanation whatsoever. In some desperate effort, I try to catch up to him, if only to know what warranted this sudden departure and his odd warning at the end.
Hey, be careful! About what exact...
Only for my attempts to be interrupted by a muffled ringing in my pocket. Mum's cheerful voice greets me as soon as I answer.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
I don't think he even had the time to respond. Just a simple hello, a reminder to enjoy the party, and to set the regards of their old student. When the call ends and I get to look up, Ashton's already heading inside. With a sigh, and admittedly a little disappointment, I tuck my mobile back into my pocket and follow after him.
So much for a date.
Even with familiar company, this is somehow shaping to be a terrible evening. Alright, it's a rich party with all sorts of fancy mannequins. Right, to my recollection, this is the part where she talks to Hannah Wright and the ghost appears behind her and Hannah looks petrified. And then there's more drama with Luke Wright apparently having an affair with some other lady and rumors about getting her pregnant. And then there was drama about her getting Hannah Wright pregnant, from what I recall from my previous playthroughs. Now, forgive me if I've gotten anything wrong. It's been a while since I've played this game. But I do tend to have a good memory of things. All it takes in the evening would have been far more enjoyable for me. The pride and my own silly hopes, the thoughts of being seen with one of them by him curbs that, as much as I hate to admit it. It's a hard truth to swallow, especially when the very person at the center of it makes denial difficult. Can't even spare me a minute of his attention or a single glance at me the whole evening. Hey, Zachary! Hey, look at that dopey smile. Hey, Ashton!
I swear, the next person who asks, I'm dancing the night away with. Ashton can go fuck himself.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Her voice almost makes me jump too. Focus on the wandering around the ballroom and my own annoyance to notice. In comes Hannah. There she is, Hannah Wright. Homely. A bit too friendly for my liking. But I guess that comes from being raised in such an environment, having to deal with pompous, snooty people. Though, I suppose nothing has really changed from years ago. I remember her carrying herself with the same manner during that one and only visit. Does she remember any of it? I won't be surprised if she doesn't. It has taken me a while myself. She probably met a lot of people like little Becky throughout the years. Might have already forgotten about me and my parents. People like her thrive on connections, after all. Nevertheless, I return her smile, awkward and stiff as it may be.
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenu, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up.
Parvenu.
Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
Ah yes, a black beauty. Like the horse. Ah, here comes the horse. Still without a look of acknowledgement, though, it's as if Miss Wright speaks loud enough to catch the attention of anyone within earshot.
Who, Ash?
That gaze. She knows what she's doing.
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers. If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men.
Ooh la la.
But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time. I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend then? Because that would explain those rejections.
Ah yes, this is the part where the ghost shows up. This isn't the first time someone had made that assumption. Almost every student I've had in the past did. My co-workers more often than not assume he is. Few of my neighbors also think we're an item. Not that Ashton has ever reacted to those. He's been quite indifferent about it, in fact. Still, the heat of the blush creeps on my skin. The denial's ready, despite wanting it so badly myself.
What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
We'll wait and see.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed. Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I hadn't been looking at him.
I do my best to summon a straight face, but for a good cheer, it easily falters.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact.
She knows these things. She's a flirty lady.
Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
She knows because she flirted with Zachary.
It's more the latter currently.
Just don't go murdering him on my property.
Speaking of murder, they might want to watch out for
I
ghost
don't
incentives.
want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
Infectious in a way. No sooner I find myself enjoying our chat more than I've imagined myself to. Though her attention briefly wavers at one point, she remains a good companion. Even more once I've mentioned who my parents are, her face quickly lights up, and fondness graces her face, despite the meeting from several years ago being a short one. Of course, there are some things you can't really avoid talking about. After all, it's one of the few things I remember her asking me the moment she spotted little Becky in the room. Do I have a boyfriend? Do you have a boyfriend? In retrospect, it's an odd thing to talk about as children, but there are loads we couldn't have started with.
Yes, oh, I remember you. You were the cutest little thing with glasses. And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A.
An Ash.
What was it? Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert,
Adele.
Alexander, Andrew?
Adele. We could have had it all. Rolling in the deep. Imagine me a male version of Adele now. Which makes this whole talk all the more embarrassing. I'll say, the more names piss off, the more my discomfort grows, until my smile turns into a grimace. What does she think of me? Here she is, married to a man she most probably loves to that, while I'm stuck in the same place, yearning for the same person.
Ashton! Ash!
Ding 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 ding!
That man is that boy! The same one. Oh, goodness me, after all these years! I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone within earshot, you know? Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
This is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Though, to be frank, I doubt she'll be willing to pass this up. The topic has already captured her attention.
Please, Anna's fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky. Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
Depending on how we play the game, yes.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh?
And
And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales.
You thought love was only true in fairy tales. Meant for someone else. Not for you, huh?
And they are, sorta.
Love's out to get you, Rebecca. That's the way it should be. You don't want to disappoint all your dreams.
I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best.
Some effort will do. Well, that's why Disney upped the game with Princess and the Frog by working hard for your dreams.
If you love them, you have to fight for it, right? You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it.
Hypocrisy, that's what this is. How dare I preach about something when it's exactly what I've been doing. And then, I go and act as if I'm entitled to any of it. That, by virtue of us growing up together, we must return whatever I feel for him. That he's not allowed to look at another, because I'm the only one who has stayed by his side the longest. In the first place, Ashton has always been this person. This is something I cannot force on him. Well, that's just...
But what do I know?
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about.
At one point, maybe I would have easily agreed to that. However, the past weeks have also been changes in the same ways I view things. As nice as those things around, it turns out whatever I previously know may not even be true. Sobering. But there are times to mull over these things, because when a hush suddenly descends in the room, a whole different issue rears. Luke.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party?
And then I saw his face, and I wanna slap him, not a trace, down in my mind, I don't like him, ooh, I wanna slap him with a book and I get him if I try to.
I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the Wright Mansion.
Before long, Hannah leaves my side to join him, and it doesn't take a genius to piece it all together.
Welcome, one and all, to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are all ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses, as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
His attitude, the manner he carries himself around people, his unfamiliarity with that part of the city. Of course. I should have known. Although I'm partly at fault here, tabloids and the gossip columns have never been really my thing. I've also expected that wherever Luke is, some sort of the drama will follow. He seems the kind of person who revels in it. Yeah, there's the scene with the lady accusing him of the drama.
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility. God damn it, Luke. I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
What do you mean you're pregnant with Luke? Is this true?
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
Johans.
No, you do not do this to me. I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours. Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby? Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
I think she can. The commotion doesn't go further, despite the drunk woman appearing like she has plenty more venom to spill. In a little while, security shows up, escorting her out. Apparently, she's the chief inspector's wife, too? As if this whole thing can't get any more screwed up. What a mess. But the damage has been done. Beyond the repercussions this will bring, I'm more worried about Hannah. Maybe Luke too, in part. I've seen the man that hides behind his self-importance. It is someone who cares for the person who stands beside him. No matter how questionable that is now. After all, so Hannah. Well, as refined and well-mannered she is in front of her guests, I'm not sure she'll be able to be willing to tolerate this. Her party, her home, her husband, and that woman has just dared to walk over it. It's in her eyes when she turns to her, the face of someone who demands she'd be given the same respect she had long deserved.
You are no longer welcome in any of our states, our properties, and our businesses. And we will no longer patronize yours. Now, escort the girl and make sure she isn't standing even an inch within our grounds.
Hannah's outrage is a strange sight to witness. After those smiles and the grace she has carried herself through the entirety of the party. Like this, her eyes burning bright with fury, I don't doubt she can do much more. Ruin the scandals, ruin it need be. Shaming her is already an act of mercy, generous enough coming from her.
You won't show your face to me ever again if you know what is good for you, Rochelle. Take her away.
No one protests, not even the subject of her ire, as she is forcibly dragged out. Even the smile on Luke's face wavers, when she eventually turns to him and pulls him out of the room for a talk of their own. For a brief moment, there's a concerned effort between those left in the hall, a short second of tense silence, while struggle to figure out what to do with themselves. Be true to the kind of talk these superstitions attract. It doesn't last too long. Soon chatter explodes. Alright, when the shock has faded, I feel bone tired. I've accomplished nothing to what I've come here for. Apparently, Ashton has disappeared sometime during the commotion. I'm not sure what pisses me off more. He ignored me the whole evening and might have just left without saying anything, or knowing he obviously has some other motive for being here. Probably investigating something to do with the ghost. Can't he at least trust his own friends for that?
He didn't have to lie to me.
And there's Zachary. He was as disturbed when he stands beside me, fiddling with the buttons of his camera. Disturbed, but just that face you make with your lips going completely straight, like the Magusta face, like... Well...
Eventful night, huh?
Yeah,
You can say that again. It was awful.
He pauses for a moment, stares at me intently. Then he laughs, a tired one, but filled with humor, in spite of what we've witnessed.
Let me guess. Ashton.
Oh, what makes you think he's my problem?
Just a hunch. And, it's all in your face, actually.
Why does he have to? I don't understand that man anymore.
Like I always say, you should just...
Oh, you can bet your ass we're going to have a very long talk. I'm not letting him off easy this time.
This game is full of really long talks.
I'm sure he has a good reason. He won't say it, but he likes being around us. Heck, we're probably the only people he likes. He ain't gonna ruin that for something stupid. He can be dense, but he ain't dumb.
Why else would he be a detective? That's exactly what I've been telling people, isn't it?
We'll see about that. I just want to go home. Are you done here?
Nah, sorry. I can't until the party ends.
It's alright. I'll just take a cab or something. I'll see you later, Zachary.
See you, Space Cowboy. Alright, time to leave. The night isn't done yet for me. Because no sooner has the porter closed the door behind me, I find myself standing alone in the foyer with one Luke Wright. No sign of his wife. Just him and the agitated click of his shoes make while he treads around the empty room. Away from the media's prying eyes and their guests' judging stares, it's easy to glean how much this scandal has had him shaken. Not to the point where he has utterly lost his composure. He already appears to have mastered himself enough not to. But an ample opening is there for a nervous edge to show on the lines of his shoulders.
What do you know?
The man is not as tough as he makes himself out to be. Sure, I've seen this before, briefly in that 1 second in the hallway at school. It's a strange matter, however, to witness this out in the open. Behind closed doors, this is the real Luke Wright. Though maybe that's because he hasn't noticed my presence yet. Busy as he is with his thinking. Oh aye, thinking occupies us all. Our immaterial thinking. Why are we conscious? Why are we here? What's our purpose? Those kinds of questions. If he's aware, I'll doubt he'll be acting like this. His pride is one thing he will always wear with him. Pride. Terrible thing. Even now, when I place a gentle hand on his shoulders and he whirls around to face me, there's a second-long moment of anger flashing across his features before it dissolves into confusion. He tucks it away as quickly as he can, but it does nothing to change the impression I've built of the man in my head.
Daisy, must you be everywhere?
We've only met 3 times, Luke. Quit the dramatics. Besides, shouldn't you be aware of who gets invited to your party?
If I was, there wouldn't be any of that scene tonight.
I think you met about 5 times, if I remember correctly.
That munter wouldn't even get an inch within this property. I'd bear off Luxborn if I could.
He probably pawns everything off to their servants in Hannah. Pompous, elitist douche.
Did you just come out here to lecture me about it? Because, Daisy, I've had enough of it for one night. I don't need to hear another one.
You are a very unpleasant man.
So I've been told. Will that be all? If so, I suggest you go back and join every bloody goss in that room.
Not everything. As unpleasant and frustrating talking with this man is, he deserves the benefit of the doubt at least. The questions and criticisms are lacking, of course, but right this instant, there's only one that comes to mind. Is it true? Okay. Oh my. We came through several routes at once. Right. Oh, would you look at that? We're almost there. Final stretch. Right. Well, is it true?
Is there some truth to it, then?
To his credit, he does appear extremely offended and repulsed by the notion. His mortified expression alone answers the question, but I want to hear it from him, even if he takes nothing short of a derisive tone just to answer it.
Daisy? Oh, Daisy. If you believed every scandal that came along, I'd have 100 children already. Do me a favor and give me a break. I get enough of this false shite from the tabloids.
Well, I'm sorry for asking. I just wanted to hear it from you. Douche.
And now that you've heard it, does it change anything? Are we going to start seeing miracles now? A solution to poverty? Pigs flying in the sky!
Unless you count to that one episode of Lisa the Vegetarian, then probably not.
Is some friendly concern such a hard thing to comprehend for you?
He pauses at that. Suddenly, he doesn't know what to do with his hands, and in the end, he simply stuffs them back to his pockets and sulks. I'm not too shocked it was caught him off guard. There probably aren't many people who tell him that. He's a difficult man to get along with. Zachary probably won't be anywhere near him, despite the man having the patience of a saint. Thank God for that. Ashton, he can tolerate maybe, though I highly doubt he can keep it up with Luke. Dealing with him requires more than mere patience. It's a huge mystery why I still bother. When the awkwardness passes, mostly coming from him, he merely glances away.
Maybe. I don't need your stupid friendship.
Do you?
Good heavens! I really want to ask how Hana's able to deal with you.
He's interested. I can deal with from the frown he shoots my way. He's likely wondering how I've ended by knowing her. I'd humor him any other day. Probably tease him about it and keep him guessing just to annoy him, if I'm in a good mood. But my own patience is nearing its end. After Ashton, after the whole fiasco there, and now him. He won't even answer my own questions properly. Why should I answer his? Moreover, there are other matters more important than that. His marital problems first and foremost. His attitude follows right after. Indeed. Concerns aside, I can't help with those. Those are things only he can fix, and it's definitely not by standing around here. Amen. So with a slight wave of my hand, I end it right there, and walk away from him. Although, I can't resist the urge to glance back before I leave. If only I have one last look at the man who he really is. The instant I turn my gaze on him... Cross myself, here we go. Oh, that ghost chick really likes the dude, doesn't she? Looming, hovering over his shoulders, drawn to him like a moth to a flame. She likes the, that face.
Can I have a selfie, please? Can I have a selfie? Come on, take a picture. Come on, take a picture. Come on, take it.
Like the first time I've stepped inside this place, in search of Isabella. He was there too, wasn't he? That man, along with his wife. And another person, Miss McCullough. And that shadow. No, a woman now. Her, no longer a dark blur. Terror rushes through every vein in her body. A crippling sensation gripping every part of Rebecca, while she stares. As the woman stares at her with a glare filled with nothing but hate and venom. It's like staring at the eyes of a woman I've unknowingly robbed of something precious. I try to say something, a warning, but before I can gather my wits and voices out, someone shuts the door behind me. As if keeping outsiders away from the secrets this mansion possesses. Well, that was creepy. A rush of fresh air against my cheeks does little to dampen the chill in my bones. We are not mere materials. We all have a debt to pay. By now the sensation and the fear and disquiet it leaves whenever I see her is familiar enough for me, although it has made a home in my nerves. I don't even notice my trembling hands until I cross my arms across my chest. The cold from the tip of my fingers seeps through the thick material of my shirt. Neither of it helps bring together some semblance of coherent thought in my head. But I know I should.
Someone has to tell that douche.
That there's a ghost lady who fancies him. I start walking back before fear can cripple me again. He must have picked her up hitchhiking. It's not wise. Returning, that is. Especially after what happened. But Hannah's still an old friend. And Luke doesn't deserve whatever misfortune that letter might bring. I can't just leave those two in there. Isabella's right. She's real. And there's something she wants from everyone who has read that.
Becca, where'd you off to? If we're done here, let's go.
My mistake, the second his voice cuts through the crisp thin air, is that I've allowed my annoyance to get the better of me. Ashton. One accusation after another piles on the top of my tongue, ready to be hurled at any moment. There's no hesitation, no holding back. That makes me want to slap some sense into him.
Shouldn't I be the one asking you that?
Becca, I've been waiting here the whole time. I told you I hate parties like...
And before that, where have you been the entire evening?
Right there and then, might have forgiven him if he'd shown some ounce of remorse for leaving me like that. Maybe he could have looked away, given me a sign of my assumptions. Might he be right? He doesn't even need to put them into words. A single gesture of confirmation is all I need. Rather, what I get is the same impassive look. He does that whenever he can't disclose anything. He does that whenever he's lying. In the face of it, amidst the thick tension, a frustrated huff is the only thing I can summon.
Be that way. Fine. Suit yourself.
No more words. There's plenty more words where that came from. After everything I've seen and heard tonight, I'm already too exhausted for those. So without speaking any further, I simply walk past him and stomp over his car. Although before I can pull open the car, he calls out, one hand outstretched, a gentle weight on my shoulders.
Wait, Becca.
He pauses, his brows burrowed, and lips curving into a fright sound. Fright sound! I meant slight frown. Flight slough. Anyway, I can almost see the gears turning in his head while he tries to piece together everything he wants to say. Before, perhaps, I might have waited patiently for those. He's not a man fond of using words to express himself. More often than not, any gesture of honesty will come only a blunt course when forced. But today, for one reason or another, I simply can't summon that forbearance.
Ashton, if you're just going to waste my time again...
Becca, listen. I don't know how else...
That much is obvious. Why don't you just take the whole bloody night? Go on. I can wait until next year. Better yet, why don't you just keep it all to yourself like you always...
Rebecca, will you hear me out first?
The silence I can offer him, but whether I'll believe what he says about today is still up for debate. Very long debate.
I honestly don't know how else to put this. I'm aware your parents have some kind of history with Hannah Wright, and somehow you're friends with her. But you should stay away from these people for now, especially the husband.
Who? Luke?
His expression deepens into a scowl at my mention of the name, but whatever opinion he has, he doesn't immediately voice. Still, something about it greatly displeased him, evident in the stiff note his tone assumes.
Yeah, he's bad news.
Alright, another choice here. Right. Okay. I'll have a ghost encounter soon. Right. What does he have to do with this? Care to explain your reasons? Care to explain your Does it really make much difference? Kind of the same thing. What does he have to do? Care to explain your reasons?
Care to explain your reasons?
I've not mentioned for it to sound as harsh as it does, but anger and frustration have never been a good match in me, particularly in nights like this. I'm not surprised when Ashton jerks back, as if I've struck him. For a fleeting moment, something akin to hurt darts across his features, his eyes narrowing, and hands closing in tightly into a fist as he slides. Then swiftly he glances away and shifts his focus on the line of trees nearby, like an answer can be gleaned from the dark expanse.
I'm really sorry, Becca.
No, wait, I didn't mean it like that. I should go back. What is it for? For the party? The vague answer he continues to give. Does it include all those times for his? The year's worth of it? I don't doubt its sincerity. However, at the moment the forgiveness he's asking isn't something I'm all too willing to hand, furious as I am. It's frankly a wonder how I can keep myself from raising my voice at him.
We'll talk about this tomorrow. And you better have a proper answer for me by then.
Wait a second. Wait a minute. 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 No. Hold on. Hold up. What does he have to do with
Oh,
it?
what does he have to do with this?
It's not a question without merit, though the man can be quite abrasive sometimes, downright nasty with his words. You can't simply accuse anyone of virtue at that alone. And it is an accusation no matter how much Ashton's phrasing downplays their meaning. What right do they have to tell me who I should associate myself with, without even bothering to tell me his reasons at that?
Plenty. Just trust me on this, Becca.
Don't you Becca me. That doesn't answer my question at all, Ash. You haven't answered any of my questions, in fact. What's really going on here?
I want to hear it from him. If we are to go out down this route, I want to hear it straight from his mouth. Because whatever he thinks of the man, I haven't found any reason why I should be wary of him. Sure, we started off on the wrong foot, but he's a decent guy when he tries. A simple explanation is all I want. Is that really so hard to understand for him?
The situation's complicated. One mistake and you guys could...
So, we're back here again. More secrets? Why can't you be honest to me for once?
He's a dangerous man to be around, Rebecca.
Really? Care to elaborate on that? Because from what I've seen, the only dangerous thing about that guy is his audacity to cheat on his wife.
Why are you defending him?
Who said anything about defending anyone?
You know, I'm getting really worried about you guys. First it's Zach, and now you're...
Oh, you're worried?
Somehow, even that concern feels empty to me. Even if it's from him.
You care? Really now? If you care, then where were you the entire party?
That doesn't matter right now. You know it can't simply...
Forget it, Ashton. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about this anymore tonight. Speak to me when you're ready to stop spouting the same bare-faced lies.
Ashton jerks back as if I've struck him. For a fleeting moment, something akin to hurt darts across his features. Okay, this scene is about to play out. There's little to lull the ill humor because of the next second. His answer sounds nothing of the apologetic tone I'm expecting with from him.
Fine.
A little regret would have been nice.
Fine.
Did I make the right decision there? I don't know anymore. I really don't know. I don't know. Ashton himself had no idea what to do when he alights and dawdles awkwardly in the middle of the car park unsure. It almost seems as if he's having an internal debate whether he should say goodbye or mutter another apology. I could have driven him away, purely out of spite, the second I had gotten off him. Oh dear. Still, old habits die hard. It's late, and Ashton's flat is on the other side of the city. Irritation might rear its head. every time I look at him right now, but I'm not too cool to put him up for another long drive. Especially when he still appears to have gotten any rest.
You can borrow the couch.
I throw the keys to my flat his way, before a protest forms in his lips. Although he catches it with ease, he eyes at it with a wary expression and shoots a puzzled glance my way.
You haven't been forgiven. We're still going to have that talk, believe me.
Maybe I should have gone with the other choice.
But I'm not about to send you out on another drive looking like that. It's late. Go get some rest.
We're setting aside a lot of loose ends like this, but he appears to have accepted that reason, at least in the meantime. Does give me another questioning glance when I shove past him, dueling my mobile in the process.
Where are you going? I thought...
You go ahead upstairs. I need to contact Professor Andrew.
Andrew? Why would you... Oh, no. Please. Is this that thing Isabella said this morning? Again?
Am I making the right choice here? I honestly don't know.
I already gave her my word, Becca. I'll look into this BRC crap. No need to drag the old guy into it.
Or is he still skeptical? It makes me wonder if he's even seeing anything at all. Because this curse will stay away from the scupper. This is another loose end tonight. Ashton's police notwithstanding. If this so happens, that's it. Kind of thought the more emotional response would lead to this, but no, the more logical response to the mystery has led to the emotional action.
Ashton, do you really think I still give a shite after that stunt you pulled tonight?
I've got a bad feeling about this.
No, but this is...
Look, I don't care. There are weird things happening around here. And yes, it's Isabella's brand of weird. Ghostly voices, strange sounds, and a bloody woman sitting at the back of my car. You don't have to believe me. And I no longer have the patience to convince you, so just leave me be, Ashton.
He doesn't push it, growing quiet instead, although I know he has a whole case of it prepared inside his head. But there's a reluctant shift in his movement when he steps away from our conversation. Short of climbing the stairs, he stops, turns to face me with an expression almost too conflicted.
Are you really sure?
What?
That there was something? That you've been, seeing things?
Yes, I'm very, very certain. Now go. And you better not break anything in there. The last time I let you stay over was that statuette Belle gave me. You haven't even replaced that one.
Last of my reprimand goes both unheard and unanswered as it disappears behind the stairs. Right, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this. You hear? I'm gonna make a new save file in this. If things aren't as strained, I might have a quip or two about that, followed by a light banter. Instead, for a long moment, I am left staring after him. There's something in the way he asked it that nags, coupled with the expression. I mean, I wanted them to forgive each other, as well as talk about what's going on. I'm conflicted. I want her to forgive him, and I want them to get to know the bottom of this mystery. Why can't it be both? You didn't think of that one, game. Oh, there's Professor Andrew. Hello.
Professor Andrew?
Rebecca? It's late. What can I do for you?
I know, I'm sorry, but this is a bit urgent.
Did you learn a bit of theology? After this is a more pressing matter. Our lives might be at stake, and we're still in the dark.
Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you to do me a favor.
October 30th, Sunday. Yeah, I'm gonna save it right here because I'm not entirely confident with the decision I make. If at any moment this game pulls a jerk move on me, I'm going back to this. Got it? Got it? Okay, here we go.
Professor Andrew.
Rebecca, didn't I say long ago you could drop the professor?
Yeah, that happens when you're at university and college.
You know I can't possibly do that. Even if I can, it feels disrespectful to call you by your name alone.
Don't worry. There's people of high authorities who want a deep relationship by calling them by their real names.
Both you and Ashton never listen to this old man. Kids these days.
All right, but just for today, since you're doing me a huge favor, Andrew.
I guess you simply can't have it all, even at this old age. But pleasantries aren't what we're here for, yes? You mentioned you...
Yes, sir, if that's okay with you.
More than fine. Anything in pursuit of knowledge, as they say.
The pursuit of knowledge and truth. He hands me a permit without further prompting. And just like he promised, he also written a recommendation after his signature. This is more than enough to get me into those files. I mutter a small thanks before slipping it into my pocket. Right. Blah-de-blah.
I know you've always been an eager learner, but may I know what in the restricted section that piqued your curiosity?
It's the Ermengarde Mansion, sir.
He's quick to raise an eyebrow at that, and for a while, I fear he'll take the slip of paper back. There's something in what I said.
The ones they have out in the general isn't enough?
I'm, hoping for a more in-depth read, sir. More about the history and the people who once lived there. The general section doesn't have anything much on that.
Oh, I see. Well, you certainly aren't the first one to be enamored with that place. It doesn't shock me. The architecture is admirable, and the urban legends are something to talk about.
I think enamored might be a little too much to describe our interest in it. But I have to agree. The mansion is beautiful, even with the renovations. They kept the stained glass windows, too. They are magnificent.
Oh, you've seen it.
I was there for a few hours to attend a housewarming party. The invitation was for my parents, but they couldn't make it. My mum used to work as a private tutor for the Evans. Hannah Wright?
Ah, I know of her. Her husband, too. Who doesn't? Luxborn's most popular couple.
Something falls behind his eyes, the warmth in them suddenly gone. It disappears almost as soon as it surfaces. Look has unsettled something in me.
Is something the matter?
Nothing much. But you know, you're already like a daughter to me. So if you could, do be careful with the friends you make.
I'm being careful with the game I'm playing.
Is this about the rights, sir?
Just a friendly advice from an old man. Don't think much about it. Anyway, I have to leave now. Can't miss my weekly serving of bear claws. Say hi to your parents at the detective inspector for me, will you? I wish you luck with all that research.
Thank you very much.
I will. Thanks for this, Andrew.
May we do our cases together like Lee Strobel. Bye-bye. Thank you, Professor. Bye. God bless you. Bye. Alright. Let's see. To the library. Alright. Okay, bloody, 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 bloody. I really don't. Sorry, I really don't have time for this. Just get to the part where she's reading. Okay.
I can still work with this.
Alright, machines, local lore, snippets, very good. Beep beep boop beep boop. Beep beep boop beep boop 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 beep beep boop. Here's the daughter that was remembered fondly in the townspeople. If her parents built this town, Lady Charlotte was the one who made it prosper. Remarkable, considering it was a period of recovery from a bout of plague that killed half the town's population, including her parents. Ah ha ha! Alright. Oh my. Oh dear. Hera put a stop to local slave trade? What on earth? Apparently, her time also marked more of a superficial changes to the place. She moved things, changed laws, altered old customs and traditions. If they were done on a woman's whimsy, it doesn't say, but she seems capable enough for more than that. The gist of it is, the town she's rebuilt is what eventually grew to become Luxburn City, while the nearby Anselm village remained as it was, a relic of the old. A frown swiftly forms in my face.
So, why is there a need to hide this?
Well, the research is there in plain sight. It's not I suppose it might not be exactly hidden if people are willing to research it. One by one, I try to recall every lesson I've gone through, every book, paper, journal I've read. None of those have ever mentioned this. It's always the lord and lady of the house, their endeavoring child, always an afterthought to these anecdotes, the one who always took her life in the end. Never someone who restored a town from the brink of collapse or brought any new ideas to it. Is it because she's a woman?
That pisses me off.
I'll say. Granted, not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Well, of course not. Why else would we be playing this game? Not all aspects of her can be considered admirable. But this is history. Some parts are bound to naturally delve to unpleasant territory, whether I like it or not. That's the way history is. Deal with it. Witch hunts, for example, became common near the end of her life. Ah, Luxburn witch. Ah, so she was a witch. Okay, that explains how she's able to do some evil ghosty stuff. Must be pulling off a Blair Witch project on us. Okay, so people were cruel to the witch, and then she used her witchcraftiness to hunt everybody. Okay, got it. Girl eventually burned, condemned by an entire town, and word by Lady Shopton alone. Charlotte, well, but this doesn't really have anything to do with this curse, does it? It does. I think it's got everything to do with the curse, especially with the revelation that she's a witch. Unless the woman following us and the slave are the same person. A tale of revenge? However, with the lack of accurate photographs, it's possible to tell. But in my field, it doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. I'll be the laughingstock of the community. Oh, really?
This isn't going anywhere.
Oh, it is. You just don't want it to go that way. Alright. So she was a witch. Okay, makes sense. Alright, Ermengarde Heir announces betrothal. I don't doubt it. The details are far more intricate. Their likely closer to how they might have appeared at the time. They're both recognizable this way, close to those paintings I've seen in the mansion. However, it's the man standing beside her, Edouard Godfrey, according to the article that caught my attention previously. Her first cousin and eventually her fiancé. Maybe it's the posture, the manner in which he holds himself. Or maybe it's the shape of his eyes. Nevertheless, this is a resemblance. He looks eerily like Luke. Any day I'd march upstairs and reprimand however it
This
is.
is a library, for heaven's sake.
But now is the time I've gotten what I need. Without wasting another minute, I hit the machine's print button for a copy of the page, while my other hand moves to put everything back into storage. A ragged exhale slips from me. Relief, perhaps? Or maybe this is already exhaustion. Regardless, soon I'm closing my eyes as I wait for the printer to finish, if only to stave off a headache building up from everything. Who sets off the Halloween party here? Oh, crud. Oh, crud! Oh, no. There's no one here. The other mannequins are gone. I'm scared. Oh my days! Look how creepy she looks. Oh my days. Run for the hills! It's the ghost! She's probably going,
Don't scream up in the library.
What are you doing, Miss Pink?
oh, she talks! I hold my breath, not daring to make any noise. For a little while, only the sound of papers crumpling under my grasp fills the room. The excitement from earlier gone instantly. It seems like I've gotten to her personal side. I've found out that she's a witch. I'm gonna expose that. I'm gonna feed you a mouse, okay? Placed by a cold, sleeping dread spreading throughout my limbs. But more than the fear is the anger. It pains me to hear her using my own student's voice against me. The more than once I believed it was really her. She has no right.
Why don't you play with me?
Stop ripping off Stephen King! Although she doesn't have a move, if there isn't a wall behind me, I'd probably take a step back. Anything to put a distance between us, no matter how small, as long as I'm out of her reach. I'm really hoping it doesn't go up. But I steel myself, because if I do fall back, turn away from her, I'll be left with no way out. I'm not dying here. No sirree, not today.
You think you scared me?
Miss Pink, don't be so rude. I'm waiting.
I'm not afraid of you, you spook! This is one Scotswoman. You aren't getting into an early grave without a fight!
Your Scottish accent is, not altogether that clear. It sounds more like an English accent. You must be from, lower down the central belt of Scotland.
Come at me!
You may take our lives, but you'll never take our freedom! I expected she'll lunge, prove to me what a monster she is. Oh, the toothy grin, that smile. As if time had crawled to a stop at the sight of it. Oh, this beastie from hell is coming at me. A split-second decision. And before I know it, my body shifts. Eyes closing in anticipation, hands grabbing whatever's solid enough on the nearby table and hurling it at her. The hellish witch. I don't bother looking at it. Looking at wherever I threw its mark. Right. I run, as fast as my legs can carry me, despite my heart threatening to burst out my chest. But in this maze of bookshelves with the whole place almost void of people, it's not that much of a maze. The exit's right there. After the door. Right. Right. Okay. This is the ghost encounter. Okay, I'm not gonna deny it that by now. But now it comes a decision. Do I head for the door or upstairs? Why would I want to go upstairs? I want to go outside. But there's one thing, if it's out of the room, out of this place, as far as away as anyone can get from her. Oh no. I can always skip it if it gets too scary. But she's not chasing me down like this. There's no hesitation with my steps as I race for the restricted section's door, heading downstairs and barrel straight for the library's exit. Oh boy, heart beating, crossing myself towards safely. In a desperate bid for my life, library rules be damned. Right, boy. I can no longer hear her behind me, but I'm not taking any chances. My breath almost escaped as I near the door. A little more, When out of nowhere, a library cart careens from a blind corner and slams at my side. My back hits the floor with a hard thud, the impact completely knocking the breath out of me. The copper tang of blood gradually spreads over my tongue as I fight to get my bearings back. I force myself to move, even with the excruciating pain coursing through my limbs. The exit's almost there, if only I can... There's no moment's respite. Holy crap! What the frick? What the frick? Holy crap! Stop moving around like that, you're creeping me out. Look, I know you want to dance, but please, let go of me. On my blurred vision, I can only make out the helpless gleam of spite in her eyes as she looms over my body and her grip of my throat grows tighter. Oh boy. Desperation kicks in. Okay, crossing myself. The nails dig into her wrist as I struggle against the firm grip, trying to pry my fingers away.
Let go. Let me go.
Keep the slider within the green bar by moving the... Excuse me. Can I? Moving the mouse in the arrow's direction. Excuse me. This way. That wasn't so hard. That wasn't so scary. Don't think twice. My limbs are moving on their own before what I did could fully register my brain and my lungs could recover. Whew, I wrestled with a ghost. Whew. Behind me, she lets out a sharp, loud cry, a thunderous against the empty walls of the library. But the fear of her wails compares nothing to the relief washing over me when I finally make it out. Whew. Whew. My knees buckle as soon as my feet hit the pavement, its surface cold and hard against my skin. I've only been in there for a few hours, about 1 or 2 probably. I don't know anymore. Feels like an eternity all the same. My breathing hasn't slowed down yet, and I don't expect it to go after going through all that. So my guess is she's using her supernatural powers to terrify everybody. Maybe she faked her death, or maybe she did die, but she summoned hellish necromancy powers to make her this terrifying ghost-like witch demon. At present, I simply can't bring myself to care, even when a few passers-by start giving me strange looks. Stare at me all you want. I don't give a poop. I'm alive! I'm alive! I'm safe! This isn't the end yet, but I'm safe. And inside my bag is something that could get us out of this mess. Nothing definite yet. I don't want to get my hopes up, but there's still something. Well, glad to have gotten that over with. Well, we're near the end, so let's just finish this off. She'll even be the first one who will put her faith on it. Wherever this will lead us, to victory on its own. Now all that's left is to find the others, the rest of us trapped in this bloody nightmare. Right, on cue. As if an answer to my previous thought, my mobile phone lets out a beep. I pick it up, simply hoping it'll be one of them. Ash? From Ashton. There's a pang of disappointment, of course, but it brings some reassurance that nothing's happened to, or at least one of them.
Hey, Becca, call me back when you're free. We need to talk. ASAP.
He ends it right there. The message less than a minute long. Kurt, and nothing gives way. I let him ease my worries regardless and do as he asks, because this too is another triumph for us. One less thing to worry about. Ashton. Alright, we did it! Alright, we did it! Nobody died! Hey, we're playing as Ashton now! Woohoo! Let's see. Ashton. Okay, let's see Ashton. Birth date, 26th of December, Capricorn. 29 years old. He's 5'5", detective inspector, American Japanese. Religion, Christian, non-practicing. Education, bachelor's degree in forensic science. Likes Tayaka ice cream, Shirley, Ophelia, old-timey action movies and thrillers, kart racing, jazz and swing, Sherlock Holmes, and justice. Which version of Sherlock Holmes? I assume it's the classic version. Yeah, the classic, like, Smarty Pants classic version. Ashton, there was little love between his parents. And though he grew up privileged, he found little joy in student life. He saw the standard testing system as a chore. Alright. And considers his popularity among his peers to be an annoyance. Rebecca was the only one he considered a friend at St. Goretti, and he has no better. He went to the university, if anything. His different outlook got worse with his parents' divorce. He initially took the law but was quickly disillusioned by how heavy landed and abused the system was. Forensic science, on the other hand, became fascinating for him. He served a brief time as the police officer before he applied to join Luxburn's criminal investigation department. Early on, he was too eager to deal out justice, but his numerous years in service became quite clear. Now he's a detective inspector and he's been assigned as his biggest case yet. Alright! Alright. Alright. We're gonna save this right there. Yeah, Ashton. Alright, so now we're beginning Ashton's chapter. Woo! Finally got Rebecca's chapter over with. Now we're beginning to really get to the end of this game. A great success! Be sure to subscribe and join me next time for more daring adventures. See ya! Scott Meyer signing out.